Hey, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. We are going to be talking about one of the most downloaded modules for Wowza Streaming Engine. And I'm here with Tim Doherty. Tim, how's it going?
Really good, Justin. Thanks for bringing me in today.
Tim, I really appreciate you being able to do this demo for us. For anybody who is here right now, you can obviously read the screen. We are looking at a article on loop a pre-roll until a live stream starts with the Wowza Streaming Engine Java module. So, Tim, walk me through exactly what this is meant to do.
Well, I think previously, Justin, you and I did a video on the Wowza playlist. And this is kind of the next level past the playlist. We're going to set up a playlist today because it's a prerequisite in setting up the module loop. We call it loop until live. Loop a pre-roll until a live stream starts with a Wowza Engine Java module. That's kind of a mouthful. Basically, what we're going to do is have a playlist running in the background that can be sourced by any MP4 files that you have available. Curated content can be virtually anything. So it's kind of a clean slate. You can do whatever you want with your content, but you can create a 24-hour playlist, a 5-minute playlist, a looping playlist, whatever. So when that's running in the background, your users will be able to, your clients will be able to click on a stream, open a player, and they can see that playlist running, and you're getting your message out there. And then what the loop until live function does is when I connect an encoder with a particular stream name, which is defined in this setup, it immediately interrupts that playlist and commences to stream live. So you could use this for very rudimentary ad insertion. You could use it for a mobile broadcasting or field broadcasting situation where maybe you lose bandwidth, or you're on a Go coder, or you're on a mobile broad encoder. You get a phone call, battery goes dead. As soon as that stream disconnects, it goes back to the playlist. So it's a continuity play, and it's also kind of a creative play where you can server side manipulate the stream a little bit and keep people connected.
All right, so hey, why don't we start moving forward and taking a look at how to loop a pre-roll until a live stream starts?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, if you're in the Wowza Docs file library and you're on Google and you land on this page, this is the right page to land on. We used to call it mid-roll, pre-roll, post-roll, something like that. Now it's just loop a pre-roll until a live stream starts. And we're going to go through that. Now, one thing you'll see right out of the gate when you're going through this article is it says you've got to set up the streaming scheduler, and that's basically what it's telling you to do. So if you click this, it'll link to this article, and this is what we did before. We actually went through setting up the live stream, how to set up a TV station with Wowza Streaming Engine. We're going to set that up really quick right now because it's a prerequisite. So let's go ahead and do that. This article is linked to from the loop until live page, so you just simply follow these instructions.
Right, you just click the link on the prerequisites.
Yeah, exactly. So right now I'm going to download the streampublisher.zip. That's going to contain the module code. So we're actually modifying Wowza Streaming Engine. So I'm going to extract this in my downloads folder. Should give me a file. There it is. And that's the little file I need. I went kind of fast. So it'll extract. You'll see the license and version. You can essentially ignore that. So I'm going to copy and then go into my Wowza Streaming Engine folder, which is C:*x86. It's an x86 because of legacy purposes. Wowza and then Wowza Engine version. And I go to the lib folder, pop it over here in a blank space and paste it. Needs admin approval. It's got it. And there's the Stream Publisher code installed, which is that's step number one. Extract the contents. We did that. It wants me to restart Wowza. I'll restart it later. And now we have to actually initialize the code that we just downloaded. So I'll grab the fully qualified class name, copy that to the clipboard, and jump over here to Wowza Streaming Engine Manager. This is what you'd see when you log into Wowza on port 8088. What you see right now, this is a vanilla virtual machine running Windows and Wowza Engine. I just installed it. It's like version 4.78, I believe. That's new version today, but if you're watching this a year later, who knows what version we're on. But anyway, home screen, that's where you can see, just kind of a splash screen on the server. There's the server screen where you can configure everything from media cache to looking at logs to tuning, etc. This is the actual page we're going to be interacting with. Later, we'll go into the applications page. So right now I go into server listeners. This is defined in the article. It says, how to configure server listeners. We actually have a page that can give you more detail on that. But again, I'm just copying this fully qualified class name, hit edit, and then add server listener, paste that in, hit add, and it's important to remind yourself to hit the save button. So there it is. I might have put that in there twice, so let me go back and fix that. I was working on this earlier in preparation. So pardon that mild oversight. Again, it wants me to restart. Not going to worry about it because I know I'll be doing that again. Let's get into some server properties. So now we're going to tell Wowza where to send the playlist. It'll actually send it to a streaming application. By default, it's live. And in fact, we could leave that as live. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see the page. Oh, not that. I don't want that. So you can see the page a little bit better. So right here, this is the property that I would need to add in Wowza in order to define a unique application. So what you'll see in Wowza documentation is the default streaming or the default application name of live. It comes with a live application out of the box. If you want to have an application named Tim's Awesome Stream, you can, and you want to send the playlist to that, this is where you would define it. Now, by default, it's going to live. So I'm just going to leave it on live if that's okay with you guys, because again, this is just a prerequisite. So we'll go through that. And then there's the SMIL file. And if I can't really see it because of the code over here, but the name of this file by default is streamschedule.smil, and that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to create streamschedule.smil right now. So I've got a notepad over here. I'm going to file, save as, and it wants you to save it in the content folder. So I'm going to go to this PC, C:, program x86, Wowza Media Systems, Streaming Engine, and the playlist actually goes in the content folder. So I'm going to call it, I copy pasted it. So it's streamschedule.smil, save it. Okay, I didn't have admin rights. It should work now. Notepad++ will switch into admin mode if it gets an error, which is one of the nice things about using Notepad++. It's got a lot of capabilities. So getting back over here, there are other properties in here, but for time's sake, for brevity, I'm not going to mess around with them because we're just going to use the default setup. The one thing I did have to do, though, was create the stream publisher. I'm going to zoom this back out because it's bothering me a little bit. So get it down to 100% for you all. And now we're going to create the actual playlist. So I'm going to copy this code and then go back over to Notepad++ and just paste it, and then we'll interact with it a little bit. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So this, if you'll recall, maybe you've seen the video before, is what a Wowza playlist looks like. In the content folder, when you install Wowza, there is a file called sample MP4. That's the Big Buck Bunny video. And this is just a sample playlist. I'm going to change this. I'm going to get rid of the two playlists that are listed as an example. And then I'm going to modify this playlist here. I just want one video looping in the background. So I've got a playlist called PL1. It's going to create a stream called Stream1. And then there's bits on the date and time when you want it to start in the actual video itself. So cleaning this up a little bit, I'm just really downsizing the playlist. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as Stream1. So that's what the playlist is going to output. And then over here, you'll see in my content folder, again, let me drill down to Wowza. Oh, I have it. I have a shortcut here. I have a file called drone.mp4, and I just recorded that earlier for this demo. It's a little more interesting than sample.mp4. So drone.mp4, I'm simply going to rename this drone.mp4. I'm going to start at 0. And I'm going to make the length -1. And negative, it's in the article, -1 makes the video play at the start and just play to the end, and it will loop. And I believe there's a loop. It'll just continually loop on that. So I think that's it. I'll save it.
No, you lost the quote there at the end of the -1.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I don't know if I mentioned it, but and then I have to have, well, something weird is happening. It's like,
yeah, it's writing over.
It is writing over. I must have fat fingered it and done it like a keystroke, because now it's like an old school overwrite mode. So we'll just bear with that. And by the way, if you've ever watched a demo with me before, whether live in person, I did a demo yesterday at Stream Media West, and there's always something that goes wrong, right? So let's see if I can get through this in spite of little bumps in the road. Let's see if we can get it working. So I've saved the playlist. Thank you for checking my work, Justin. I'm going to go over to Manager, and I'm going to restart it. This is restarting the server. The software itself. We're not actually restarting the operating system. So we've got that done. We'll go over here to applications. Server's kind of busy here. Got a little delay going on. I'm just going to let it do its thing. A watched pot never boils, right?
Oh, it's all good.
What's that? There it is. Yep. See?
Did restart it, so it takes a little while.
Well, you got to remember this is a VM, and it's busy, so it's trying to work, and I don't see the stream showing up. So I got to ask myself what I did wrong. This is where things get fun. So I have my server listeners. My properties should all be by default, and so when something doesn't work, I always go back and I try to find out what I did wrong. So this is to let you know that even us at Wowza have to kind of wrestle through some of this stuff sometimes. So the Stream Publisher application, live.defense, it should be working as default, live defense. So we did that. We created a Stream Publisher file, and this isn't rendering too well. Stream schedule.sml, I have that right there. And then these other ones are just, if I recall, are just really incidental kind of things. So I should be seeing in Wowza Manager a stream showing up, but I don't. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and restart the server again, just to be sure, and then we'll jump into looking at some logs.
Yeah, can we look at that the file again, just to make sure?
Yes, we can. That's a good suggestion. So mp4 drone.mp4, start 0, length -1, and I believe I have that correct as far as the syntax. I've got stream 1. Is that?
Stream schedule.
Let me go back to the example code here. Where is it? Here it is. And I'm going to, this smells like a syntax error, so I'm just going to copy this text, and I'm going to put it in Notepad, and I'm going to see what I am missing. So length equals 5, length equals -1, and then I've got a /, and I've got the closing.
Yeah, it looks good.
It does look good. Okay, let me get rid of that. I'll save it again. And let's take a quick look at Wowza. I think I just restarted it. Still don't have that incoming stream. This is a live stream coming in from my encoder. So I'm going to go over to Wowza logs, and I should be able to very quickly see what happened. So I'll go to the access log and edit with Notepad+. And then what I do is I scroll to the very bottom. There's some packaging going on right now, and I'm just looking for error. So we see a lot of info, but I don't see any error messages. Yeah, there I go, right there. Boom. Line 828. Server listener, let's see what happened. Playlist manager could not find playlist file stream schedule.smil. So it's not seeing it. Let's go ahead and look at
is it in the wrong
content folder. It's possible. Yes, it is. I believe I put it in the comp folder. No, I don't see it there. Well, you know what? Is one way to get it there. File, save as. It put it into my, I didn't notice that it was in my user folder. So we'll go ahead and fix that real quick. Not the Windows folder, x86, Wowza, and there, content, and save. Okay, so I have a problem with user permission. So let's get
What I
around
asked
that.
you before, would you like to save
Right.
another folder? Yeah.
So right, I'm going to kill Notepad++, and I'm going to run it as an administrator. I think I have a desktop run as administrator. Yes. Now watch. I think it'll work this time. Now I'll do file save as. I have the Wowza shortcut content, and now if I hit save, it actually works. So folks, as you can see, there's always something. Let's restart Wowza. I have a feeling this is going to work. So I went over to the server tab, just hit restart, and let's give it a second to regain its ground here. So if I click on applications and incoming streams, I should see stream 1 here when Wowza comes back up. And I don't think I've got a lot of power on this VM. So it's got 4 processors and 6 gigs of RAM, and it's doing a Zoom session right now. So we should see an incoming stream here with stream 1. There it is.
All right.
Yay, thanks to you, Justin. We got it right. So I clicked on the stream. I can see I've got a stream coming in. I'm going to do a test of that stream. So I'm actually just going to look at it in VLC with RTSP. So I'm going to copy the link address. And again, if you didn't notice that, click on the stream, click on test players, go to the mobile tab, grab the URL, open up VLC player, open network stream, paste it, play, and we should see the playlist playing in the background. And there it is. So this is a video I took with my drone. I don't know when I did it, sometime in the last year. And this is going to be considered the playlist. So this could be a live stream. It could be a whole bunch of streams, just kind of like MP4 files switching sequentially. But right now it's just this drone file. So I'm happy that's worked. We have set up the stream publisher. Let's go set up a loop until live. You with me, Justin?
Question as you're doing
Please
this?
do. Yeah, absolutely.
So you've just put in one video right now.
I did.
What happens when that video finishes?
It will loop.
It does loop. So automatically.
Yeah, this one will actually loop.
Okay.
Yeah, the expected outcome would be it gets to the very end. That video is like 4 minutes long. It'll go right back to the beginning.
Awesome.
Inside the playlist, you can see that there's different properties. You can tell it to play. Like I could say play for 300 seconds and it would go for 5 minutes. And then you could have another video and another video and another video right after itself.
So -1 means play to the end?
Yes, it does. That's exactly right. And there's another property if it's live. I think it's -2 for live. And that's described in the scheduled streaming article. You'll see it in here. Yeah, here it is right here.
As I look at what you copied, it has a scheduled date that is
right.
3 years ago, or
it's probably when this was last updated. I don't think we've had occasion for this particular workflow to be improved since then. I know we've done a lot of things with Stream Class, and there's a lot of custom modules that have been built around this functionality. But yeah, that date is past tense several years. The point is if the date is past tense, it'll just start automatically. But if I wanted to do tomorrow, I could put tomorrow at a certain time, and the stream would be connected, but there would be no data until the actual start time. So okay. Good question. Let's do the loop until live now. So we've got that prerequisite done. When we did the stream scheduler, we already got the plugin, so we're good to go there. So now we're going to just kind of carefully work through the module configuration. And in this case, we're doing an application module, not a server listener. So you grab the actual qualified class name. I copy that to the clipboard. There is a how to configure modules for more details. So if you need more detail on that, you can walk through what I'm doing fairly quickly. So I'm in Wowza Manager, Applications. I'm in my live application. So I click the actual live application header. So it's the line of text that's above all this stuff right here. And see over here, modules. Click on that. Click Edit, Add Module, and then they want the name. Let's be really good about this. So we'll paste the qualified name. And then over here in the article, it probably has, yeah, it does, module loop until live. So let's copy this stuff over. This is in case another engineer comes behind you and doesn't know what in the world you were doing. This actually gives it a little context. So we're go ahead and copying that all over, the description and the name. You could put Tim's Super Live Module 5000, and I could say it does what it does. It doesn't matter, it's metadata. But let's keep things by the book as much as we can. So we added that. I'm going to save it. So that should actually apply the setting. And let's see what else they want me to do. There's some properties here. So loop until live source streams. So this is the actual, this is the list of the live source streams that are published to the application. It can be a single stream name or comma separated list of stream names. So in this case, my stream is the name of the stream that would be coming in from the encoder. So let's just go ahead and set this up. I'll overtalk it if I start doing that. So the property is root application. So I'm gonna, and the name of it is loop until live source stream. So I'll copy that. It's a string and the value is my stream. So going through here, let me read some of these other properties here just to make sure I got them right. The output stream is the name of the stream that's going out. This is the server-side streams created by the publisher. So again, to review, and again, I'm a little all over the place here, but this is the name of the stream coming from the encoder, and this is the name of the stream coming from the playlist. Let's just conclude it at that. So I'm going to go over here and create a new property. I'm going to click Custom, and then I'm going to hit Edit, and then I'm going to hit Add Custom Application, Add Custom Property. Root application is the default. So the name, I believe I copied that. It's a string and the value is whatever the stream name is. So this is the stream I'm going to send from the Clearcaster. I'm going to use the Clearcaster to interrupt it. So I'm actually going to call it Clearcaster. Hit add. I think I've got the syntax right. And then I'm going to add another custom property. And this one is, it's defaulting to stream one, and you'll recall that the output of the playlist is stream one. So I think, Justin, I'm just going to leave this on default if that's okay with you, and just not mess with the other properties. And these other ones either. I'm just going to leave these all in default state. So I'm going to just hit cancel out of this, and I'll hit save. And I'm going to go over and stop my Clearcaster, which has been broadcasting all afternoon. So the Clearcaster stopped. Shouldn't see anything in incoming streams right now, well, except for the playlist. So let's restart the Wowza application. Actually restarting the server, to be honest. I'm just starting over from the beginning. I could have just restarted the application, but it doesn't matter. And then because my VM is a little underpowered, it's kind of like driving a car around near the Wowza headquarters at 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square feet, right? Takes a minute. Go over here to applications. We should see an incoming stream. Let's refresh it, give it a minute to catch its breath. I don't see an incoming stream. I should see an incoming stream. Something went wrong. Take a look at the logs, reload from disk. Go down here and see what went wrong. So when you're going through the logs, you see all these info statements. Just there's a warn right here. Save server listener on line 1365. Failed to get application instance cannot run. I've seen that error before when you're running on an underpowered VM like I am right now. It's not seeing the stream before it actually starts. So there's that warning. Let's see if there are any others. There aren't. So that's something weird happened when it tried to start up. I'm going to restart the application, or I'm going to restart the server again. Might be overloading it a little bit. And I think it's fair to do this in a demo because a lot of times Wowza is installed on a cloud server and people try to minimize the amount of CPU required for cost purposes. Right. So this is somewhat of a real world scenario. And it looks like the stream for some, there it is. Now it's started this time. So I fortunately, I have seen this when working with customers when you're dealing with an underpowered instance. So how do you solve that? More power. Okay. If I was doing this on a bare metal machine, an i7, a Xeon processor, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But anyway,
Right.
now you know. So we have stream 1 coming in. Let's just confirm that we have that. I do have VLC running. So I'm going to start that stream. So there's the drone footage from earlier, and then I'm going to go over here and start the Clearcaster. Now, again, I only have one file running on this server, so what we should see when the Clearcaster starts up is this nice drone video change over to some stock footage that I have running through the Clearcaster. So I'm going to hit go live. There we go. We're in the process of going live, and let's see what happens over here. There we go. Boom. Yes, it worked.
Right.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Is that not exciting? Just like that, right? So I'm going to make my screen smaller, and I'll move VLC over here. And watch what happens when I stop the Clearcaster. Just stop it. We should see pretty quickly go right back to the playlist. And right back to the playlist. And right back to the playlist. So it's very rudimentary. It's sometimes there's a little bit of pausing. Now, one thing that is causing this to be stable is the fact that the frame rate, the resolution, everything, every single detail that's in the recording is exactly the same as what's coming from the Clearcaster. And how did I do that? I actually broadcast the drone footage through the Clearcaster and recorded it in Wowza.
Hey,
and
since we have the two things on different sides now, can you go live once again just to
Sure.
Show?
Yeah.
That way it's a little more instantaneous for people to see what's happening. And
yeah.
admittedly, it still takes a little time for that stream to go up, and boom, there it is.
It is. But again, as long as you have the same resolution, everything is really close, you're going to see a pretty seamless transition. You might see a few frames here and there that are required in the transition. But for the most part, as a best practice, if you keep those things aligned, you should be good to go. And then I'll stop the broadcast, and then we should see it go back to the playlist. So it's always fun when these things work out. As you can see, I'm happy to be candid with you and let you know that there is trial and error. There's looking at the logs. There's checking your syntax. You got me on the stream schedule syntax because I did something weird in Notepad+, and then I had to have admin rights, so we had to deal with that. Welcome to video streaming, folks.
Right.
It's challenging. It's not easy, but I love this workflow. I have a lot of fun with it, and that's pretty much it.
Can I ask you one last question before you head out there, Tim?
Sure.
Did this video start at the original location, or did it continue moving forward once the live stream cut out at where it dropped previously?
The playlist will continue in the background.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to overwhelm this PC, but if I opened up another instance of VLC, you could see that the timeline continues. It does not pause. It just simply lays the stream on top of it.
Gotcha. So when it finds that the live stream has ended, it just goes from where it was continuing to move forward in the playlist. It doesn't restart it from the beginning.
Correct. That's correct.
Great to know.
Good.
Hey, thank you for presenting this information, man. This is great to have, and I think people will find it very useful for sure. For anybody who's watching, I am posting the URLs for this loop of pre-roll until a live stream right here at the bottom, but it will also be in the description. Thank you all for taking the time to see this, and I hope you all have a great day.
See y'all.